Hello, sir.
Good evening, friends. Good evening, madam. Good evening, friends. Today, we have two eminent personalities with us to grace our day 4 session. Uh, First of all, I will introduce the guest who joined with us, Dr. V. Janaki, madam, Head of the Department, Computer Science Engineering, Vagdevi College of Engineering, readily accepted our invitation and joined our session. Thank you, madam, for accepting the invitation. And I welcome you, madam, to this day 4 session of SDP on Python. And also, we have another guest, Dr. Y. Ramadevi Madam Garu, Professor, Computer Science Engineering Department, Chaitanya Bharati Institute of Technology, Hyderabad, famously known as CBIT. Thank you, madam, for accepting our invitation and joining today's session. I welcome you, madam.
Thank you.
I am proud to say that I have finished my PhD under the esteemed guideship of Dr. Y. Ramadevi Garu. And it's a great honor and privilege to me to work under her guideship. Thank you, madam, for guiding me in such a way such that I can complete my PhD as early as possible. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Now I request Dr. Janaki, madam, to address the students.
Respected Ramadevi, madam, my dear colleagues, Dr. ERaju, sir, and Prashant, sir, and my dear students, very good evening to all of you. I'm very happy to see that these many students are coming forward and learning these things, learning this Python programming language. I heard that most of them are from first years. It's really great. This language definitely helps you a lot, which is now the booming language. When you come out of the college, you will definitely get a good job. But only one thing from my end is don't leave this with this only 1 week session. You need to practice it. Every day you do a program on this Python. Definitely you will achieve and you will definitely improve your logical skills and programming skills. So once again, I'm congratulating Dr. Raju sir and Prashant sir for coming forward and conducting this excellently, this workshop. Hope everybody is learning and enjoying also. Wishing you all the very best, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your inspiring message. Hope students will take your advice and you follow your suggestions, and definitely they will get good hands-on in Python. Madam, I would like to bring to your notice that this is going on live on YouTube, madam. All the 5 days we are conducting these on YouTube live, madam. Now I request Dr. Y. Ramadevi Madam Garu to address the students.
Respected Janaki Garu, the coordinator of this SDP, Dr. ERaju and B. Prashant, good evening colleagues and my dear student participants. It's a great workshop which is being conducted by Raju. These type of skill development programs are really necessary. So we have been am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Clear.
Yes. So these type of workshops are very essential. Being in the two for the first, I came to know that there are more than 600 participants in this workshop, especially they are from first year also. Now, in the current scenario, Prolog Python is the basis for any type of artificial intelligence or machine learning or data sciences or whatever new emerging technologies is there. So Python has become a prerequisite for these courses. Now, we have been from the traditional C language, then C++, we have seen C++, object-oriented programming, and now the need of the hour is Python. Most of the courses are taking prerequisite as Python. So we know that it is very easy to do it. It is very flexible to write a program in Python, and since it is most of the courses are being based on this Python, it's better we study this particular the programming language in first year itself, and then you can build the applications on based on this language. So when in the recent AICT curriculum also, when we have seen artificial intelligence and machine learning, or be it artificial intelligence and data sciences, or be it be IoT or blockchain technologies, most of these new emerging technologies are making use of Python. I really congratulate ERaju, who has taken an initiation to conduct such program, and that too at a large scale. I also congratulate Janki Madam, who has given a permission for this particular program, and especially the Vagdevi Engineering College, who has taken an initiative to do this program. Now, I request all the students to take the basics of Python from here and then start building the case studies based on this initial steps program which you are undergoing. And later on, this will give you a cutting edge over all other students who have not learned this one. It is a very good program which has been done, and you can use this Python in every walk of your programming language. Thank you, and one and all. I congratulate all the participants who are making use of this skill development program and taking maximum benefit from it. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, madam. Now I request Prashant sir to present vote of thanks.
Welcome. I take privilege here to thank Dr. Ramadevi madam and Professor Janaki madam for being present here, for your presence here, and enlighten the participants, and given the importance of Python programming language and usefulness of Python programming language in artificial intelligence and machine learning and data science. Definitely, your use will help the participants to improve their skills in these coming 3 years to complete their BTech and to choose a good career. Thank you so much, madam, for your presence in fourth day of our workshop. Thank you, Rama madam, and thank you, Janaki madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Once
and
again,
wishing you all the
once again, I thank
nice.
Janaki madam and Ramadevi madam for gracing
It's
this
okay.
day 4 session, madam. I thank you, madam. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay, bye. Wishing you all
Thank
the
you.
best. Please
Thank
continue
you.
your session, sir.
All
Okay,
the best.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Raju sir, please continue.
Yeah, friends, every day we are trying to get two guests so that you will come to know what is the importance of the latest technologies, so that you will get some interest whether you are going on right path or not. Are you learning the correct programming language? Hope you are inspired by the speech of our guests today. So with these few words, we'll start our session. Thank you all. Are you ready? Am I audible? Yeah, yesterday we were talking about auto formatters. So one such auto formatter is a black, and we have installed a black. So what is the command to install this black auto formatter? Pip install. Open your command prompt, all of you. If you have not installed yesterday, please open your command prompt and try to install this auto. We were discussing auto formatting yesterday, right? So hope many of you have installed this auto formatter, black auto formatter. So what is the command? Pip install. Okay, so yesterday I shown as I already installed. If I type this command, then request already satisfied will get. Okay, so now let us try to just see how this auto formatter formats your program. Okay, so for example, if I have a poorly typed program, okay, so just to see here stylescript.py. Okay, so I have a program here. Okay, so where I am using unnecessary symbols and unnecessary white spaces. Directly what I do is I'll go with a program here. So open your Python IDE. Open your Python IDE. Now open a new file. Now open a new file. Okay, so here we'll try to just write some piece of code so that how auto formatter works here. Okay, so just what I do is I declare a variable. Okay, so I am just using some extra spaces here. A is equals to something like a 5. Okay, so then if a less than 10. Okay, so here in Python, after if we don't use parentheses. Okay, so by mistakenly, if you have used these parentheses, okay, so then colon. Okay, so just you say print. Welcome to Python. Okay, so these few things I would like to share with you. Okay, because now I have a small program here like this. Say now you save your program. Unnecessary white spaces and unnecessary extra symbols you have included. Save your program in your Python programs folder. Okay, so I am saving this. Okay, so save it as something like a style script underscore script. Okay, or you can just save it as black. Okay, so now your program is saved here, stylescript.py. Okay, so then you can close your program, close this editor, close the editor and open your command prompt. open your command prompt. Now once you are on the command prompt, okay, so just say black, okay, so give the programmer here style script .py, okay, so what it says, now you have to call that black. Already you have installed this auto formatter black yesterday. Okay, so what it is saying? It is saying that the path does not exist. That means you have stored this style script.py in some other folder and you are trying to execute that C users and HP. Okay, so that means you need to give the full path of this style script. Okay, so have you installed black yesterday? If you have not installed, just you can type this command, see on the screen, pip install, just you can say black. Okay, so then it will be installed. Once it is installed, you can use black command. Okay, so you can see requirement already satisfied because already I installed this black. Right, so give the full path of this style script. Where is this style script? In E drive, Python programs folder. My folder name is Python programs. Okay, so copy the path from there. Then now you can paste that here. Okay, say black, then paste the path here. Okay, so E Python programs, then say slash style script .py. Okay, so now you say enter. Now you will get a one file reformatted. You can see on the screen one file reformatted. Okay, so that means your file is now formatted. Okay, so we'll try to open the file and we'll see what this auto formatter did in our file. Okay, so go back to your file. Go back to your file and try to open that file. Now I'm just sharing the screen. Just see here. Now file, then open. Now you open your file in E drive in Python programs. In Python programs, you can see style script .py. Okay, so now your file is opened here. Okay, so you can see the file here. Let me share that file. Now if you observe, now see, you can see, if you observe, I have given a equals to 5 using some extra spaces here. If condition I enclosed in a parenthesis. Okay, so then those things which are not required in Python, they are removed automatically, they are formatted. Okay, but here in print statement, welcome to Python, see here, you have given some extra spaces. Okay, but those are not removed because you are intended to print that statement in that format. So that's why it won't touch, your auto formatter won't touch this string inside the print statement. Okay, so wherever required, if there are unnecessary symbols and unnecessary extra spaces available, then your auto formatter automatically formats your code. Okay, it won't do any syntax correction, please remember. Okay, so this helps when you write lengthy programs. Okay, so now your program will be in a proper shape and proper manner once you do this. Okay, so then after you can compile your program, and then you can ask the Python interpreter to execute. Okay, hope it is clear. Okay, so this tool is very much useful when we write or do some projects in Python. Okay, so you can use the command in PPT. You can see black space tilescript.py. Here you need to provide the entire path for this Python file. Okay, so then your black formats your file. Okay, so once your command is executed, okay, so you can see here one file reformatted. Okay, so once this has appeared on your command prompt, that means the black has formatted your file. Okay, so you can open the file and you can test check your file. Okay, right. Then after your program looks like this. In previous program I have used same thing. If I have used parenthesis after if in previous program, you can observe here after if I have used a parenthesis. Okay, so this parenthesis will be removed here, and your program looks like this. Okay, right. This is sample program I have used there. Okay, so hope you might have observed in your program. No, no, not required to set any path for black. Directly you can say pip install black. Okay, so there are some questions. Do we need to set path for black? Not required. Okay, so directly using pip command you can install black, and directly you can use black as a command. Okay, so hope yeah, anyone did formatted your file? Right, now just you tell me, yesterday we discussed about functions. Okay, so what is the output from this Python code? Just try to observe here. Now you are familiar with uh, Python functions. Now what this program displays? Okay, so I'll give you options for you. Okay, for example, A, B, C, D, E. Now just you tell me what is the answer from this, either A or B or C or D. Yes. D. Okay, so many of you ABC, ZAP, ABC. Okay, right. So hope from this you will come to know that how the functions are called. Okay. Here the intention of this question is, even though the function Fred is defined first, Jane defined second. Okay, they are not executed in the same order. Okay, they are executed in order in which you call the functions. Okay, so first you are calling the Jane, so that's why this function is executed first. Okay, so then Fred is executed next, again Jane is executed. Okay, so it is not the order in which we define the function, it is the order in which we call the functions. Based on that, the functions are executed. Clear? Okay, right. Now yeah, you just take these two. Okay, so previous programs, now you try to uh, write using the functions. Okay, so just quickly take screenshot of this. It is related to previous exercise problems. Okay, so that's why I have written rewrite your pay computation problem. Okay, so if you have previous exercise problems from them, now you can modify and you can write them using these functions. Okay, right. So now you have to define a function called as compute pay, and there is another one called as compute grade, and then you call those functions. Once you call the function, then your program should display the output. Okay, right. So continuation of that is this, and a sample input output is also shown here. It should satisfy those sample input outputs also. Okay, have you taken? Yeah, black is not recognized as an internal external command. There is some problem. Okay, so not required to. That means using pip you have not installed. First you have to say pip space install black. Okay, so then it should install first. Then you can use black as a command. Yes. Okay. So you try after this session, you try to install pip again. If still you have any problem, just you can drop a message to my WhatsApp number. I will. You can just share the screenshots of error messages so that I can clarify you after this session. Okay, right. So finish. Right. So next important one is iterative statements or loops. Till now, we have used only conditional statements in Python. Okay, so today we'll see how iterative statements or loop statements are used or defined in a Python. Okay, so we'll start with the simple loop statement, that is while statement. Okay, so first we'll discuss about a while loop or while statement. Okay, so the syntax for this while is, it begins with the keyword while, a space followed by test condition and followed by colon. Okay, so then in the body of the loop, you can write all the statements. Okay, so one or more statements you can include in the body of the loop. The only prerequisite is you must indent all the statements in the body of the loop. Okay, and there are no parentheses after a while. Test condition, no need to include inside the parenthesis here. Okay, even if you include, nothing wrong. Okay, but that is not a Python style of writing. Okay, so when you are learning a particular programming language, you must follow the programming style of that language. Okay, right. So when Python doesn't force you to this, then why we write unnecessarily? Okay, so we follow the same syntax. The simple example you can see, I have a variable n is equal n, I am assigning with value 5. Okay, so then we can define a while loop like this: while n greater than 0 colon. Okay, so then print n, I am printing n value, then I am decrementing n value. Okay, so then I say n is equal to n minus 1. Please remember, when we were discussing about operators, I said that there are no increment decrement operators. So you have to manually write these kind of statements: n is equal to n minus 1, n is equal to n plus 1. Okay, so this way you have to write. So this is decrement statement. So now how this execute, initially n value will be 5, then it comes to this while statement and checks the condition. N value is 5, 5 greater than 0, true, then enters the loop. Okay, so print n, 5 will be printed and n is equal to n minus 1, n will become now 4. So again goes back to the loop, again test the condition here. Okay, so what is current value of n? 4. 4 greater than 0? Yes, print n. 4 will be printed and n is equal to n minus 1, n becomes 3. Again it goes back, checks the condition. 3 greater than 0? Yes, print n. 3 will be printed and n is equal to n minus 1, n will become 2. Again goes back. 2 greater than 0? Yes, print n. 2 will be printed and n is equal to n minus 1, n will become 1. Again goes back. 1 greater than 0? Yes, print n. 1 will be printed and n is equal to n minus 1, n will become 0 and goes back to the condition 0 greater than 0, false. Then comes out from the loop. Okay, so that means the loop, while loop, repeats as long as the condition is true. As long as the condition is true, the loop continues executing the statements inside the loop. Once the condition becomes false, then the control comes out from the loop. Okay, so when this piece of code is executed, you can see 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 printed on the screen. Okay. So I have a simple program here, finding a sum of numbers. Okay, so what I am doing is I am asking the user to enter a number. Okay, so he goes on entering the numbers, and whenever he wants to quit, he has to enter -1. Okay, so this is called sentinel. Okay, so such kind of loops are called sentinel loops. So then you have to check this -1. Okay, so that means while num not equals to -1. Okay, so if it is not -1, you go add the value to sum. You go on adding the values of num to sum. Okay, so then there are two ways of writing this statement here: sum plus is equal to num. Okay, or it is equal to sum is equal to sum plus num. Hope you know shorthand operators, arithmetic operators. Okay, when left hand side and the right hand side variable both are same, then you can write in a shorthand form like this: sum plus equals to num, which is an expansion whose expansion is sum is equal to sum plus num. Okay, so then you can again ask the user and test whether it is -1 or not. That means every time user enters a number, you are testing, and if it is not -1, you are adding it to the sum. Okay, so once he enters -1, then the loop becomes false. Okay, control comes out from the loop. Okay, so then it prints the total is. then the total it prints, right? So we can execute a small piece of code like this using while loop statements. Okay, so just open your IDE, and open a new go to file and new file, open new file. Okay, so then a new editor window will be opened. Now you can just type here your program. Okay, so just initially we'll say sum is equals to 0. Okay, so then we'll take a variable num or n, anything you can take here. So num is equals to, okay, so you have to read integer numbers. Okay, so try to convert that into, now just say input, enter a number. Okay, so then you give the message -1 to quit. Okay, so then you can use a while statement here, while. Okay, so num not equals to -1, while num not equals to -1. Okay, so just you can say sum plus equals to num. Okay, add the num to sum. Then again you copy paste this, again ask the user to enter here. That means repeatedly you are asking the user to enter a number. Okay, so then what happens, again user enters, and your that will be stored in a num. Control again goes back to while condition here, again it checks whether if it is not equal to -1, then again it adds this to sum. Okay, so like this it goes on, repeats until the user enters a -1. Once he enters, then you can just print the total value. Okay, so just you say print the total is equals to, okay, so then say sum. Clear? So simple program to find some of the numbers entered by the user. Now user can enter any type of numbers, any number of numbers also. Okay, so then we are going to find some of those numbers. Okay, so save your program, go to file and just say save as. Okay, so save in your Python programs folder. Okay, so just I'll say while .py. Okay, because this is an example for while loop, so I give the file name as while. Okay, so then say save. You can see while.py. Okay, so then run the program. Okay, now just let me show you how to run it from an Python. Even you can run the program from the Python prompt. Okay, so go back to your Python prompt. You opened ID, no? In that you have Python prompt, interpreter, Python interpreter. Okay, so shell, Python shell is there now. So there you type Python space while.py. Python space while.py. Okay, so then say enter. Invalid syntax. So it is unable to locate the file. Okay, so then we need to give the full path of this while here. Okay, so we'll try to copy the full path of this. Full path of this is Python programs. Now copy. Okay, so then we'll say Python while.py. Okay, yeah. So why it is saying invalid syntax? Because while is a keyword here. So that's why it is showing. What we do is we save this file while as while1. Okay. So go back to your while.py file and just you save as it as a while1.py. Go back to your program. Okay, then file, just say save as while1.py. Okay, so while1 you say, because while is a keyword, it is not allowing okay, so then you say save. Okay, so once your program is saved, we'll see. Now go back to your Python interpreter. Okay, so here now you type Python. Okay, so then now you can see now you say while1.py. Okay, so hope instead of backslash, you convert those backslash into forward slashes. Right, so hope my path is not set in this I'm using a different machine today. Okay, so Python path has not set in this machine, I think. Okay, so now we'll directly run the program from editor. Okay, so there we have directly command to run. Okay, so go back to your program. Okay, open the editor and from here you run. Okay. Now you can see invalid syntax here. Right? So why it is invalid syntax? Because we have omitted a colon here. We have omitted a colon here. Parenthesis not required. Colon we have missed there. Okay, parenthesis not required. Colon we have missed there. Okay, so now include colon and save your program. Okay, so after while every condition statement or loop statement you must end with a colon here. No? Okay, so that's why we missed colon here. Now you can see the syntax error, invalid syntax. Okay, so now add colon and again you say save your program. Okay, right, file and just save. Okay, so again we'll see, run the code. Yeah. Now just save the program. So here at while it is showing the error. What might be the error? Just check out. So here sum is a predefined word. Okay, just you can see int shown with int input sum, all are shown with the same color. Okay, so that's why it is giving some error. What we do is we'll take it as the variable name as a sum1. Okay, so you take it as a sum1. Okay, then you print here sum1. Okay, so then save your program. So indentation problem. Okay, so again save, then run your module. Now let us just use black for this. No, even parenthesis. Yeah, this is the problem if I bring a different laptop. Braces, generally braces, we don't require braces. Conditions in Python, we don't use braces here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so yeah, so open parenthesis 1, 2, and 3 open here. There should be 3 closing parentheses. Okay, so this entire yeah. Okay, right. Now here we missed one parenthesis here. Okay, so same should be the case here. So we have to add another parenthesis here. Okay, so then save your program. Okay, so now run your code. Okay, so now successfully run. Now it asks you to enter a number -1 to quit. Okay, so you can go on enter the numbers. So now again it asks, then 3. Okay, so then 4, then 5. So finally you enter, say, let me show the screen. And now once you run this code, now I share the Python's shell prompt, how it displayed. Now you can see, so enter number, it goes on ask you the user to enter number. So as long as you enter a number other than -1, it asks you to enter. Finally, if you want to quit, you enter -1, then it prints the total is 15. Okay, so 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 15 here. Clear? Right? Okay, so don't get worried when there are some errors in your program. Okay, so try to observe errors in your program keenly. Okay, so then you will come to know what mistakes we have committed in the program. Okay, so not to worry when there are errors. Okay, right. Now What is the error in our previous program? Now just let me show. So 3 in the first one. Now you can see, okay, so 3 open parentheses, okay, we missed one. Okay, so here like this 3 closing parentheses should be there, we missed one, that's why in this statement, okay, so that means here we were getting a error, invalid syntax. So that means we have to check the before statement clearly, okay, so then we will come to know what is the error there. Okay, right. So now let us check whether we can run this Python prompt. Okay, so we were executing that command Python prompt. Now I'll share a Python shell with you. Okay, so here we'll see Python while1.py. Okay, so then use the complete syntax here. I think this should. Saved one not yet identified here. So your program successfully saved while1.py. Now this is the path e Python programs while1.py. So let me copy this. Now we'll say Python paste. Still it says, otherwise directly you'll say while1.py Python. No, it should, sorry, Python while1.py. Okay, so still it is says invalid syntax. Okay, right. So I'll check path in this and I'll let you know in the group. Okay, so what is the problem? Actually, this should work. Okay, so in the command prompt, if you type like this, it should work. Okay, so otherwise, we'll check out from command prompt. Open your command prompt. Okay, let me share this. Yep, you open your command prompt. Okay, so just let me share a command prompt to you. Okay, so I'm sharing my command prompt. Open your command prompt. Okay, now hope you can see the command prompt opened here. Even from command prompt also we can execute using Python command. Actually it should work. Okay, so we don't leave this. we'll try to execute using the command. Okay, so here now you type a Python and you give full path of your file. Okay, so e python program / while1.py. Clear? Okay. So at the command prompt directly, that means you will be in your DOS command prompt. Here you call Python command here, Python space, then full path to your program. Okay, so then say enter. Okay, so now successfully your program executed. Okay, so now it is asking enter a number. Okay, so now you enter a number, again enter a number 2, enter a number 3, enter a number 4, enter a number 5, enter a number -1 to quit. Okay, so then you can see the total is equal to 15. Okay, so this way using Python command we can execute directly at the command prompt. Okay, both ways of executing Python code you should understand. Clear? Okay, right now. So if this is okay, then yeah. So I have shown you it works on command prompt also. Okay, so from editor you can execute, or from command prompt also using Python command you can execute in this way. Okay, right. So we'll move on to next loop statements. Right. So sometimes we don't want to continue the loop for entire period of the loop. Okay, so we want to break in the middle. Okay, so we have a break statement as we have in C. Okay, so when you say break, then the loop will be terminated immediately and control comes out from the loop. Okay, so simple break you can see here. Okay, so while true, okay, so that means this is an infinite loop here, always it becomes a true. Okay, so then he is saying that input. Okay, so then that whatever input is storing in the variable called as a line. Okay, so if line is equal to done, that means if the user enters the word done, then he says break. Okay, so otherwise whatever string he enters, he is printing that string. Okay, so until the user enters a word called as done, okay, so your loop will be repeated continuously. Once the use, this is because this is an infinite loop here, while true, always it is true. Okay, so somewhere you have to come out from the loop. Okay, so for that the user has to enter the word called as a done. Once he enters done, then the loop breaks and control comes out from the loop. Now see here, up to this last printer line, this is the statement present in a while loop. Once the loop breaks, then control comes to the last print statement and you are printing done after coming out from the loop. Okay, so a sample code, if you execute this piece of code, then you can see after greater than symbol, now you enter something. Okay, so hello there, if you enter, then immediately it prints hello there. Finished, if you enter, then it says finished. Okay, so if you enter done, then finally it says done. Okay, so like this you can use break statement to come out from the loop, okay, right? So what we do is we'll introduce a break in our previous program. Okay, so because we have written a while statement, so go back to your previous program. We'll try to introduce a break statement in this. Now, just okay, so while num not equals to -1, okay, you are going on adding to the sum. Okay, so somewhere we'll try to break the loop. Okay, so here what we do is we can use a if condition here. Okay, so if num is equals to, okay, so something like a 3. Okay, so if the user enters a 3, then we'll say break. We'll say break. Okay, now there are two ways of coming out from this loop. If you enter -1, then the loop terminates because this condition becomes a false here. Okay, if you enter 3, then this condition becomes true, then the loop breaks because of this break statement. Okay, so save this file, and again run the code. Okay, okay, so after if we should use colon here, save, then say run. Okay, so let me share the screen with you, command prompt. Now you can see once you execute this, now it asks the user to enter a number. Okay, so now you enter a number here 1. Okay, enter a number 2, enter a number 4, enter a number 5. Okay, so then enter a number 3. Okay, so then the loop breaks. Okay, you are not coming out from the loop because of -1. Okay, here there is a message -1 to quit, but you are not entered -1, but still you have came out from the loop. Okay, so because you have used a break statement when you enter 3, then you said break the loop. Okay, so that's why the loop terminates and comes out, then it prints the total. Okay, so what is the total? 5 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1, 9, 10 plus 2, 12. So you can see 12 printed on the screen. Clear? Okay, so this way we can break a loop somewhere if some condition is satisfied using the break statement or break keyword, you can say. Hope everyone got? Yes? All right. Now we also have continue statement. We can use continue statement to skip some part of the loop and continue with the next iteration without finishing the body of the loop. Okay, so that means you don't want to continue some part of the loop for current iteration. Directly you want to go back to condition of the loop and repeat the loop. Okay, so sometimes this is required. You want to skip some part of the loop, but you don't want to break the loop. Okay, so then you can use this continue statement. A simple example you can see here, while true. So just I am reading a line from the keyboard. Okay, so then I am checking if line of 0 is hash. That means if the first character is hash, then I say continue. That means it is a comment statement. Okay, so just I don't want to read that statement. I just skip and I'll continue. Continue means when you say continue, again it goes back to condition part of a while. So since the condition is true, again enters the loop. So again it asks the user to enter the input. Okay, so if your input does not begin with a hash, okay, so then this condition becomes false. If line of 0 equals to hash, this becomes false, then directly it goes to next if statement. Okay, so if line is equal to done, now it is checking whether you have entered the word done. Okay, so if you enter done, then it says break. That means it directly comes out from the loop. Otherwise, if you enter some other word, directly it prints that word and the loop continues again. Okay, so like this, you can use both continue and break statements inside the loop. Okay, so when you want to break and when you want to continue, based on that, you write the conditions and the loop continues or breaks based on your input. Okay, so once the loop breaks, then it comes to the last printf statement and it prints done. Okay, so this way we can use break and continue in a while statement or in other loops also, right? You can practice this afterwards. Now just see here, hello there. If I enter hello there, it prints. Okay, so if I enter an input beginning with hash, don't print this. See, nothing is printed. Okay, so if I enter print this, then that is printed here. Okay, finally if I enter done, then the final printf is executed and it prints done in a last line. Okay, so this way your loop continues if your input begins with a hash symbol, printing nothing. Okay, so this is simple sample input for that piece of code. Okay, so then we'll go to another important loop, that is for loop. How we can use for loop in a Python programming language. Okay, so just you can see the first statement begins with the keyword for. Okay, so you can give any variable name here. In place of name, you can give any variable name and you can use the keyword in range. Okay, so you can use the function range here, and inside this range you can give some maximum value. Okay, so ending with a colon. Okay, so then you can write statements here. Okay, so this is the syntax of a for statement or a for loop. Begins with for, followed by a variable name, followed by the keyword in, followed by range function and some maximum number you can repeat. How many times you want to repeat this loop depends on the maximum value given inside this range function. Okay, so then the loop will be repeated. All the statements will be repeated up to it reaches this maximum number starting from 0. Okay, now just you can see the next statement repeats for values beginning with 0. Okay, so see here maximum number 10 you have specified. Okay, so that means the loop variable value name here begins with a 0. It starts with 0 and goes up to 9. Okay, not this max value. Okay, so exclusive, let's see here 0 to max exclusive. That means when it reaches max value, it stops there. Okay, so max minus 1 up to max minus 1 it repeats, and then once it reaches max, then it stops. For max value the loop is not repeated. Okay, so 0 to max minus 1 times the loop repeats. I'll give you a simple example here, just so you can see example. For I in range 5, print I. Okay, so I takes the values beginning from 0. Okay, so first I value will be 0, then it prints I. Okay, so 0 is printed, then I becomes a 1, then print 1, I becomes 2, print 2, I becomes 3, print 3, I becomes 4, print 4. Okay, so when I becomes 5, that means which is equal to the value given inside this range function, then it stops. Okay, so that means the loop repeats from 0 to 4 because the argument passed to this range function is 5. So 0 to 4 it repeats. So 0 to 4 means 5 times. Our intention is to repeat the loop 5 times. Okay, so loop is repeated 5 times. No doubt loop is repeated 5 times, but what are the values taken by the variable means 0 to 4. Okay, so this is how we can use a for loop in a Python programming. Clear? Now, not only integers, okay, so you can also take a strings also. Okay, just you can see you can use a string variable inside the for loop also. Okay, for example, I have a string variable friends containing these 3 strings. Okay, so then I can use a for loop like this for friend in friends. Okay, so then print happy new year friend. That means what it will do is it goes on taking a one by one string until it reaches end of the list here. Okay, so first what it will do is from friends it takes the first string Joseph it takes, and that will be stored in a friend. Then it goes to print happy new year Joseph, it prints. Okay, so then it goes to next Glenn. Okay, so then that will be stored in a friend, then it prints happy new year Glenn. Then it takes a next name, and that is happy new year Sally, it prints. Okay, so then since there are no more names in the list, okay, so then the loop stops. Okay, so that means the loop repeats until there are names in the list. Okay, so once all the names are finished, then the loop stops and finally comes out from the loop and goes to the last printf statement and it prints done. Okay, so like this we can use a string variable, a list of friends, and we can repeat the loop for all the strings present in the list. Okay, right, so in 2 forms we can use for loop, for integers and for the strings also. Okay, so different variations we can apply for this for loop. Okay, so now we can just have a look at of these variations. For name in range, now you want to repeat the loop between some minimum and maximum value. Okay, so then you have to pass 2 arguments to this range function for name in range minimum comma maximum. Okay, so beginning with the minimum it goes up to max minus 1, up to max minus 1 it repeats. Okay, this is one way. Or you can, the second way is for name in range minimum comma maximum comma step. You can also specify in what steps the count should increase. Okay, so then it takes based on this step value, it increments beginning with minimum value. Every time the value is incremented by these step and reaches to max minus 1, repeats until max minus 1. Okay, so we can, that means we can specify a minimum number other than a 0 and a step counter other than a 1 also. Okay, if you don't specify third argument step, by default the step count is plus 1. Okay, increments by 1. Okay, so if you want other than 1, you want to increment by 2 or increment by 5, at a time increment by 10, you can specify, or even decrement also you can specify. Okay, so that is by using this third variable, step variable. We can just have a look at for these examples. For I in range 2 comma 6, print I you are saying. Okay, so what it happens, it I value starts taking its value from beginning from 2. Okay, so then it prints I, 2 will be printed, then automatically I will be incremented by 1 because the default step count is 1. So I increments to 1, then I value will be printed. So like this 2, 3, 4, 5 will be printed. Once I reaches this maximum value, then the loop will be stopped here. Similarly, you can specify the step count here. Just you can see for I in range 15 comma 0 minus 5. Okay, so that means starting from 15, every time decrement the value by 5 until it reaches a 0 here. Okay, so like this you can see here, first I value will become 15, then it prints 15. Okay, so then I value will be decremented by 5. So I becomes 10 here, then 10 will be printed, then decremented by 5, I will become 5 here. Okay, so then 5 will be printed here, decremented by 5, I becomes 0. Once I becomes 0, then the loop ends here. Okay, so this way we can use different variations of a for loop depending on our requirement. Okay, this is a basic for loop. Just you can specify for I in range. Okay, or you want to specify minimum maximum values, you can specify these things. Okay, so then how we can use nested loops? For example, I want to print a code of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that means in the first row I want to print 4 dots followed by 1. In the second row, 3 dots followed by 2. In the third row, 2 dots followed by 3. Fourth row, 1 dot followed by 4. Fifth row, directly the number. Okay, so this kind of a pattern, if you want to print, we need to use a nested loops. Okay, so nesting of loops is writing one loop in another loop. That is called a nesting of for loops. Okay, so in Java, if you want to write or print this kind of pattern, okay, so we'll use this piece of code. Okay, or in C also we'll use nested for loops like this. For int line 1 is equal to less than or equal to 5, line plus plus, again inside this we use another for loop. Okay, but in Python how these nested loops are implemented, just you can have a look here. Now just see here, the same two loops can be written using a single loop. And just you can observe here how it is printed. For line in range 1 comma 6, okay, 1 comma 5, up to 1 to 5 you want to print. Okay, so 1 comma 6 you have to specify here, so it repeats from 1 to 5. Okay, so print 5 minus line star here, 5 minus line star. Okay, so that means repeat what, repeat this dot those many times. That is the meaning of here. Okay, then plus concatenate with the str of a line. So what is a line value? First line will be taken as 1, so that means 4 dots followed by, that means 5 minus 1, 5 minus 1 means 4, 4 star dot, 4 star dot means what is the meaning? Repeat this dot 4 times, that is the meaning. Repeat this dot 4 times, so that means you can see 4 dots printed here, then followed by line. String of line means line is initially integer value here. Okay, so then that is converted into string because dot is taken as string here. So then that is 1 is concatenated with these 4 dots. You can see 4 dots followed by 1 here. Okay, so then line will increment, line will become 2, then 3 dots with 2, then line will increment to 3, then 2 dots. Like this you can see the pattern using a single loop in Python. Okay, so that is the beauty of the Python. Nested loops can be implemented using a single loop, because here the star operator works as a repetition operator and plus works as a concatenation operator. So then using these two you can perform the task instead of using two loops, using a single loop in Python. Yeah, so there are some questions. if you have to use more than one statements in any loop, how to do that? Yeah, so you can go on adding any number of statements in the same indentation line. Okay, so first line you have added, no, in our previous program we have added first line using indentation. So in the same indentation you can go on adding all the next lines. Okay, so all those statements which are indented in the same line, okay, so they are taken as the statements belonging to that loop. That's how the Python interpreter understands. Okay, so there is no beginning of the loop and ending of the loop in Python. Okay, with indentation it understands all these other statements. You can go on including one after the other. That's it. Okay, so that's how you can add the statements. Okay, so as you practice you will come to know. That is not a big issue. Okay, right. So hope nested loops, how beautifully they can be implemented using single loop in Python. You can understand. That's why better you practice using these loops, for loops, because if you see in Java, the same pattern, if you want to print, just you can see two loops, two for loops. He has written 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of code he has written. Okay, now those 4 lines replaced with two lines, and moreover it is a single loop here. So when you have nested loops, processor takes a lot of time in executing those nested loops. Okay, so it is as good as removing nested loops by using a single loop. Okay, so the same piece of code, if we write in a Python, it reduces to 2 lines, and moreover it is by using a single loop. That is the advantage of Python. Okay, so for program execution will be faster compared to this Java code. Okay, so try to practice these things. Right. Python does not have do while loop. Please remember this. So in C, you might used have used this do while loop. Okay, but in Python we don't have do while loop. Okay, so why we use do while? The do while loop is used to check condition after executing the statement. Okay, it is similar to while loop, but it is executed at least once. In while statement, the disadvantage is in the first instance, if the condition is false, nothing is executed. But in do while loop, the body of the loop is executed at least once, then the condition it checks. If it is false, then comes out. Okay, so then how to perform such kind of a thing here in Python? Because Python don't have do while loop, then we want to achieve the same thing. Now simple C code I have written how do while loop is used in C programming. Okay, this is the output printed there. Now if we want to perform the same task, we have to use while loop only. There is no other way. There is no other way of using writing a do while loop. Okay, so but we want to achieve the same task using do statement. So in Python we can write using while loop in this way. Okay, so I initially is equals to 1 while true. Okay, so just you write an infinite loop here. Okay, so just first 1 has to be printed, print I, then increment I value. Okay, so then when you want to break, just you write the condition here. Okay, so if I greater than 5, just you say break. Okay, so that means what happens here? First I will become 1. So while true, this is always true. So print 1, I will become 2, then 2 greater than 5 false. Okay, so that means this break is not executed. Control goes back here. While true, again print 2, I will becomes 3, 3 greater than 5, no. So again goes back, print 3, 3 prints, I becomes 4. 4 greater than 5? No, false. Again it goes back. Okay, so print 4. I becomes 5. 5 greater than 5? False. Again it goes back. Print 5. So I becomes 6. 6 greater than 5? Yes, break. So then the loop breaks here. Okay, so this way you can achieve do while logic using a while loop in a Python. Okay, right. Similarly, Python does not have a switch case construct also. Okay, so in C we have switch case, but that switch case construct logic you can uh, construct using chained condition statements. Okay, so we have chained condition statements. So that switch case logic you can construct by using chained condition statements. Okay, so please remember there is no do while statement and there is no switch case construct in a Python. Increment decrement operators already we discussed that. Okay, so you have some exercise questions to practice. Okay, so just to take a screenshot of these. Now you can get some hands-on practice using the loops, while and for loops. Just take a screenshot of these. So this is another program to get hands-on on loops. Now to write any code, the first thing is you should understand the given problem. If you don't understand what is asked in the problem, okay, so then it becomes very difficult to write the program. Okay, so better understand the program first. Try to solve that program mathematically on paper first. Okay, try with different inputs on paper. You try with different inputs and what is the output you are getting, and check whether the output whatever you are getting is satisfied from the problem statement given. Then you can code. Okay, so you can code easily. Once you do this, you can code it is very easily. Then I have another program. Okay, so just you print this on the screen. Your program should print the same pattern as it is on the screen. Okay, so just let me see how many of you will. Yes, copied. Right. Okay. So try to solve that. Then we'll move on to strings. So just let me share strings with you. Right. Okay. So then we'll see strings, how strings are declared in a Python. Okay. So string is a sequence of characters. Okay. We can access the characters one at a time by using the bracket operator as we do in a C. Okay. For example, say fruit, a variable called fruit is equal to, then I am assigning a string called as banana. You can use double quotes or single quotes for representing the string constants here. Okay. So then the string is assigned to the variable fruit. Okay. Banana is now stored in a fruit. Now I can access a individual characters using this bracket operator. Now I can say letter is equal to fruit of 1. Letter is equal to fruit of 1. Can you just tell me what is stored in letter? What is stored in letter? If I print a letter, what is stored? Which letter it contains? Now I have a fruit, variable fruit containing the string banana. Then I said letter is equal to fruit of 1. Fruit of 1. Okay. So that means I am trying to access individual characters. Okay. So what letter it contains? Because string indexing begins with a 0. Okay. So then 0, B is at position 0 and A is at position 1. Okay. So then it contains the letter. If you print a letter, then it prints a. So B is first B is at 0 and A is at a position 1. Okay. So fruit of 1 means it represents the letter A. Okay. So then it prints A. Now this is how the string is stored in memory internally. Okay. So B is at index 0, A at 1, and like this 2, 3, 4, 5. That is how the string stored inside internally in the memory. Okay. Right. Now to find the length of the string, no need to write any code. You have length function already we have seen. Okay. So you can use this length function and it returns the number of characters in the string. Okay. So directly you can say length of a fruit. Then it gives 6, the number of characters present in the string. Okay. So to get a last letter of the string on here, say for example, you find the length of the string first. Okay. Using length function. So just say length is equal to len of fruit. Okay. So if you want to directly, you don't know how many characters are there in a variable fruit. Okay. So but you want to access only the last letter. Okay. So in such case, you can first find out length of the fruit and store that in a variable called length. Then last you can say length minus 1. Okay. So length minus 1 gives the last character here. Generally, this is the logic we use in other programming languages. Okay. So when you say print last, it prints the last letter. Okay. But here, the beauty of Python is we have negative indices to access from the end of the string. Okay. So we can use negative indices to access the string from backwards. Okay. So you can access the string from backward direction starting from the last character. Okay. So the same 3 lines of code now can be achieved by using single statement, that is fruit of minus 1. If you say just say fruit of minus 1, that gives the last character. Fruit of minus 2, last but 1 it gives. Okay. So just check out this, open your Python shell. Open your Python shell. Okay, so just you can say fruit is equals to something like apple I am storing here. Okay, so then you can say fruit of -1. Yes, you can see E, the last character. Okay, so no need to find any length here. Okay, so that is the logic applied in other programming languages, but in Python you can use negative indices to access the string from end in backward direction. Okay, so if you say fruit of -2. Okay, so then it prints a L, last but one character. Okay, you can use like this. You can access the characters of a string variable from end in backward direction. So fruit of -2, -3, you can like this you can use. Okay, so P it printed. So fruit of 0, 1, 2, 3 means it goes in forward direction. -1, -2, -3 means it comes in a backward direction starting from a end of the string. Okay, so like this we can access the strings either in forward direction or backward direction using positive and negative indices. Right. Now, if you want to traverse a string, you can use a simple loop here. Okay, so say index starting from 0 while index less than length of the fruit. Okay, so you can access each letter one by one here. Okay, so print letter, then index is equal to index plus 1. This is a simple piece of code to traverse a string. Okay, now that means we traverse the string starting from first character to last character. Okay, so this is the piece of code. There is no other way. You want to traverse the string in forward direction. Now you have an exercise code. Write a loop that starts at the last character and works its way backwards. That means last character to first character you want to print the string. That means printing the string in a reverse. And you have to print each character in a separate line. Okay, so how you will write just you practice this so that you will come to know how in backward direction in Python we can access the strings. Okay, so already we have seen how we can access the string in backward direction. That logic you can apply here. Okay, and when you are writing in Python code, there is a particular negative index used. Okay, so you have to use that logic. The main intention of asking this simple code is whether are you aware of using negative indices in Python or not. That is what the interviewer mainly looks into your code. Okay, if you find the length of the string and just say minus minus and decrementing and accessing the strings, then no one appreciates that. Okay, so if you access string in reverse using negative index in Python, then that is the good code. Okay, right. You can access now using a while loop. Just see here 1 2 3 4 lines of code, 4 5 lines of code. Using a for loop, you can just use 2 lines of code. Okay, so just like for char in fruit, print char. So what it will do, it reads character by character until there are no characters in the variable fruit. So directly you can access the string using this for loop easily. Okay, so this is simple way of accessing a string variable using the for loop. For loop is better compared to while statement. Okay, now string slices we want to find out. Okay, so what is a slice? Slice is nothing but a segment of a string. Okay, so that is called a slice. We know bread slices. Okay, bread slices, and we use that word slice. Slice means a piece, a segment. So our aim is to select a slice from a given string. Okay, so you want to break the string into pieces, and you want to select each piece or each slice. How it can be done? Okay, just see the example here. So I have a variable s containing the string called as Monty Python. Okay, so if I want to access or print the first word, okay, so how I can do? I can say print s starting from 0 to 5. Okay, so you can use this type of indexing. Okay, so 0:5. Okay, the meaning is starting from 0 read up to 4. Starting from index 0 read up to 4, not including 5, please remember. Okay, so read up to 4, then it reads all those characters and prints. Then you can see Monty printed on the screen. And if you want to print Python, then you can say print s starting from position 6th to 12. Okay, so it reads all the characters starting from 6 to 11. It reads, not including this one. Okay, so it reads up to 11. Then you can see Python printed on the screen. Okay, so generally we write this kind of logic. Okay, so here we can use this colon operator. Colon operator in Python, you can use this colon operator. See here, directly yes within the square brackets 0 to 5. You can mention the range of positions inside the string. Okay. When you write a range like this, the meaning is including the first character but excluding the last character. Okay, so that means the character present in position 5 or the character present in position 12 will be excluded. Okay, so that means up to 4 or up to 11 it reads and prints that. That is the meaning of that. Okay, right. Now sometimes if we ignore the first index before the colon, okay, so that means the slicer starts at the beginning of the string. Here in previous program, just you said start from the 0 go up to 4. Starting from 6th position go up to 11, you said. Okay, so sometimes you can omit this first number before this colon. Okay, so if you omit this first or if you ignore this first number before the colon, by default it takes from the beginning of the string. Okay, so you are asking to read the string from the beginning. Okay, sometimes we can ignore the second index also. If you ignore the second index, that means you go up to end of the string. That is the meaning of that. Okay, so sometimes say you can fruit is equal to banana, then fruit within the square bracket just colon 3. Within the 3 brackets, starting from the beginning of the string go up to the position 2. Okay, so 0, 1, 2 it reads, not including 3. Okay, so then you can see band printed on the screen. Sometimes you can write like this, starting from position 3 go up to end of the string. So position 3 means B is at 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 means A. Starting from A, it goes up to end of the string. So that's why A and A printed on the screen. Now, by mistakenly, if you give the first index greater than the second one, okay, so then it won't give any error, but nothing is printed, empty string. Okay, so greater than or equal. Okay, so you are saying that starting from beginning. Okay, so go up to 2. Second Second one, you mentioned 3 means go up to 2 only. Okay, so but started already at 3. That means nothing will be printed. So empty string is printed here. Okay. Now, just can you answer this? For example, I have stored some fruit name in a variable called fruit. Okay, now if I type fruit and within the parenthesis colon, if I type, what does it mean? That means no first index, no second index. What is the output? For example, just you take the same output, fruit is equal to banana, you take. Okay, so can you guess what is printed on the screen if I use this kind of indexing? Fruit of colon. Now apply the knowledge and don't type and check. Okay, so what is printed? Okay, so banana, if banana is the string assigned, then banana is printed. Okay, so many of you full name will be printed. Okay, right. So why full name is printed? Okay, so we have seen the concept. That means if we ignore the first index, the meaning is start from the 0. And if we ignore the second index, the meaning is go up to the end of the string. Okay, so you are saying that starting from the 0, go up to the end of the string. Okay, so that means the entire string will be printed there. Okay, so this type of questions generally will be asked in examinations. Okay, right. Now, strings are immutable. Now, you have stored some string in a string variable. Okay, so if you want to change a character, okay, so then what happens in Python, we'll see. Okay, for example, I have stored a hello world in a variable called as greeting. Okay, so now I want to change this h to j. So greeting of 0 is equal to j. Generally, this is how we assign a character in another character position. Okay, so this will do in a C programming. Okay, and it is allowed in C. But here in Python, if you try to do this, then immediately you will get a type error. Okay, so such kind of assignment not supported you will get. Okay, so why? Because the strings are immutable. This is called immutable. Immutable means once you assign a string constant to a string variable, you cannot change any character inside the string. You cannot make changes in that string. That is called immutability. Okay, so that means once you store, it is fixed. It is fixed. You cannot make changes in that string. Okay, so that's why strings are immutable in Python. Okay, so the reason for the error is strings are immutable, which means you cannot change an existing string. Okay, so you cannot make changes. You cannot overwrite with another character in the existing string. Okay, so that is called immutable. Okay, so how can we do this? Now, if you want to make change, okay, so how you can do that? So better thing is to create another string variable. Okay, so greeting is equal to hello world. Just see here. So then Now you can create a new string variable. New greeting is equal to C plus. Now you can see in which place you want to add this. Okay, C plus greeting of 1 to end of the string. Okay, so here plus is used as a concatenation operator. Okay, so first this greeting of 1 to end of the string. 1 means ELLO. From E, this second operand returns the string. Okay, so C plus this one. Okay, so then you can see hello world printed on the screen. Okay, so C is concatenated with the ELLO world. Okay, so then you can see hello world, and that should be stored in a new string variable. This is how you can make changes in the existing string by creating a new string, not in the existing. Please remember, greeting is not changed. Okay, so new greeting, if you print, you can see the change happened in that. Okay, right. So this is how we can make changes by creating a new variable. Okay, so you can use in operator on strings also. Okay, so this in operator is a Boolean operator, and takes strings and returns either true or false. Okay, so if the first character appears as a substring in the second one. Okay, so we'll see example. Just see here, A in banana, you can use like this, A in banana. So in takes two arguments. Before in there is one argument, after in there is another argument. So it checks whether this first argument is present in the second argument or not. If it is present, then it returns true. Otherwise it returns false. Just you can see here, seed in banana. Whether this word seed is present in banana, it checks. Not there, so then it returns false. Okay, right. So you have some two exercise problems. So with this, we'll close today's session. Just take a screenshot of this. Okay, so remaining string operations will continue tomorrow. String comparison and other things will continue in tomorrow's session. Okay, right. So okay, so try to write code for all the exercise problems. That's how you'll get a hands-on practice using various concepts of Python. Okay, if you just learn and leave it, if you don't practice, then it becomes very difficult to use next time. Okay, so thank you all. Thank you.